Welcome back to the show. When Al Horford suffered that torn pectoral muscle back in mid-January, many thought it was a severe blow to the Hawks' playoff chances. Yet the team remains right in the middle of the playoff hunt, and help may be on its way. Al's rehabilitation process is going very, very well. But when can we expect the All-Star Center to be back in action? And what is he doing to get better? How about if the big man explains himself?
Goes up, rejected by Hibbert. Second shot blocked.
Hawks need to foul. Al Horford is hurt right now. They've got a problem with Al Horford on the other end.
Horford is hurting, holding his shoulder. Let's see. And he's going right back to the locker room.
When it happened, it felt, it didn't feel so painful. And I think it had to be because of the adrenaline and the heat of the game and everything. I mean, I just felt something pop. And mentally, I wanted to, think of it that I was okay. I was like, okay, maybe it was just, I don't know, like I overstretched something or something like that. And then when they took me back to get X-rays, I laid on the table, and as soon as the X-rays were finished, they were like, okay, you can get up now. But I couldn't get up. Like I literally couldn't get off the table. Before I went to the X-ray room, I was planning on going back and playing. And then the other thing, once I saw how bad it was, then I was like, well, I hope that, it doesn't need surgery and we can treat it for 2-3 weeks, get it right, get back on the court. So that's kind of when I knew that there was something, really wrong with me.
Losing to Al Horford is a devastating loss for the Atlanta Hawks.
The type of tear that he had is very rare. He actually had some tearing of the muscle away from the rib cage, which doesn't happen very often. A lot of times you get a mid-belly tear. So the number of procedures that are done as far as that are, I wouldn't say few and far between, but there aren't as many. But I have to say that of all the post-operative torn pecs that I've worked with, his is progressing the best. And he's really good at communicating. And I think that's what's helped him out as much as it's helped me out with treating him thus far.
Within the last few months, I felt like I've grown a lot on my faith, and I think that was one of the things that that I felt more calm about, just because I had the stronger connection in my faith. So the first thing that went through my mind was not to overreact, and and look at it in a different way. And this was just a challenge. So for me was to go through the surgery, and was like, okay, I'm going to follow all the steps that I need to, and try to come back as soon as I can, but at the same time healthy and feeling good with my body. Well, the first 6 weeks I was very, very limited. I was able to barely move my arm. We would do some random exercises like twice a day, and then I would do some bike. Just stationary bike, that's all I could do. So it was very frustrating for me. Not being able to shoot, not being able to be around with the team and working out. I'm usually very active, and not being able to do everything was very frustrating for me.
Al's got a great attitude. He wants to make sure to do things, the right way. He doesn't, he's not overdoing it at home, and when I tell him, okay, you need to stop doing this, he'll stop doing that. I always ask him for feedback with exercises, and he is probably the most eloquent with, giving feedback. And I think, like I said, that's helped him thus far because he's doing very well.
Nice. Home games, I'm there, and I think those are the harder ones for me, just because, I feel like, it's right there in front of me, in front of my eyes. The guys are there. We're in the bench, the team is there, and I really can't do anything about it. And, just seeing our fans cheering us on and coming on, I love playing at home. So it's a great feeling, and that's been the hardest part for me. And I think that the guys have done a good job of, obviously, moving on and finding different ways to win and things like that. Different guys are stepping up for us night in and night out, and that's what's great about a team. I know that all of us have had injuries in the past, and when Joe fell last year, other guys picked up the slack, and that's just the way it's got to be on a team.
Al is really anxious to play, but he's also, he can handle not playing right now. I think that's something that's difficult for a lot of patients, particularly who've never had a massive injury before. And I think this is his first real injury. And I think given that, he's doing far better than most. And I think as a result, I think he's even more motivated to do things perfectly so that he never has to go through this again. And I think he's doing that.
I think that when you get to a position where, like myself, you've had some success in the league and you've been able to do a lot of special things and play consistently, you don't stop and look at it from the other side of, you know, not playing because of an injury and what your future's like. So I think it just really motivates me to be able to get back out there on the court, and you know, I kind of have a lot of hunger just to, you know, to be out on the floor and just looking forward to that moment.